What's up, everybody? It's Greg with Delta, and this is the Be the Difference podcast. This podcast is all about making you a better person in your life and in your business with coaching on sales, leadership, mindset, marketing, everything under the sun when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And we bring our own best speakers. Today, I got the honor and pleasure of welcoming Mr. Brandon Leibowitz. Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on today.
It's my pleasure. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Yep.
Okay. It was a guess. I didn't. I'm usually really good at those, but the last two of I've been slightly off. So I'm back on a roll, baby. Let's go. For those of you that don't know Brandon Leibowitz runs and operates SEO Optimizers since 2007. They are a digital marketing company that focuses on helping small and medium-sized businesses get more online traffic, which in turn converts into clients, sales, leads, etc. I love talking about marketing. Let's dig in and get dirty, Brandon. I like this.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get in the weeds and show you how to get that traffic from Google, how to start tapping into that free traffic mainly using search.
Yeah, definitely. So, what got you into digital marketing, SEO?
I just kind of fell into it. Wasn't planning on it, but got my degree in business marketing. And the first job I got out of school was actually helping a company out with their SEO and doing social media, helping out with some paid ads and kind of doing everything for them. And this is back in 2007. And I didn't really know much about digital marketing. They said, don't worry, we don't know much either. We're going to learn alongside you and take your classes and workshops and seminars. And after doing that for a few months, just kind of realized everyone's probably going to have a website in the future. Everything I mentioned definitely works to get traffic, but SEO is just a way to get free traffic. And I thought, why spend money on paid ads if you can get up there for free? So over the years, focused on different ways to get that free traffic from Google. Worked at different companies, different advertising agencies as director of SEO. And before work or after work on my lunch breaks, I'd work on my own company and built it up to where I was able to eventually quit my job and focus solely on this. But wasn't planning on it, just kind of fell into it back in 2007 and just kept going with it ever since.
Yeah, I love that. It's awesome. And I mean, that's the way to do it as an entrepreneur, is really just to kind of throw yourself into it, just jump in and see where it goes. And I find that the most successful people do that and have the most follow-on success after that. Okay, fantastic. Now, let's talk about SEO optimizers. Let's jump in. What's your primary clientele that you are helping? Does it even matter? Is there a certain niche or sect that you tend to, align more with or do better with?
Yeah, not any particular industry or niche. As long as you have a viable product or service, then I could help out. Look at your website, kind of evaluate it, make sure you're not just selling t-shirts. And then we're trying to compete against Target and Walmart and Amazon and all these big corporations. So it's just finding something that's more niche and unique and has potential. And then really just going in and helping them out, trying to tap into that free traffic from Google. Because with SEO, we're not just trying to beat Google. Google changes every single day. So what matters is who's on that first page of Google and how much SEO have they done. So if it's all these big corporations that are ranking for your keywords, and if you're a small, medium-sized business, it's going to be a little tricky to get up there. So that's where we got to kind of evaluate and figure out what's the best solution. Is SEO viable, or maybe social media might be another way to go about it where it's less of a barrier to entry. But yeah, over the years, just realize that SEO is just gets you traffic. So traffic doesn't mean anything really to business owners. They don't care about traffic. They want more phone calls, more emails, more sales, whatever that conversion goal is. So over the years, focused more on full circle, trying to make sure that once you get people to your website, how do you get them to buy? And unfortunately, most people are going to hit that back button. So it's called the bounce rate. And about 50% of your traffic is probably going to hit that back button. So keeping yourself top of mind through running some remarketing ads, maybe trying to capture their email addresses and send out the email campaigns, and just trying to keep yourself top of mind as much as possible.
And so let's walk through the typical journey of a brand new client. Someone reaches out to you, they have a viable business, they're not selling t-shirts, and they're like, yo, Brandon, I need your help. What does it look like kind of from start to finish with the brand new client, walking through your specific process that you guys have for SEO optimizers?
First, we got to look at their website, look at the competitors, and try to figure out what the disconnect is, why are your competitors ranking versus you? And that usually comes down to what are called backlinks, getting other websites to talk about you. So anyone could put keywords on a website, and Google just doesn't believe you are who you say you are without you building trust up, because they just seen too many websites being built that aren't really what they are. So you have to get Google to trust you by getting other websites to talk about you. And the more websites that talk about you that are relevant and authoritative, the more trust Google is going to give to you and the higher they're going to rank you. So backlink, for example, would be if you're reading an article, let's say on the LATimes.com, and in there it says Brandon Leibowitz, and you click on it and it goes to my website, I'd be getting a backlink from the LATimes.com. And with SEO, we got to really look at your competitors and see how many backlinks do they have and how many backlinks do you have, and how do we get you to a level that you need to be at? Because that's really what SEO, for the most part, is. I mean, it varies depending if you're a local business. Then we want to try to make sure that you show up on Google Maps and have a presence locally on all the different maps, like Apple Maps and Bing Maps and Yellow Pages and MapQuest and all these other sites. If you're e-commerce, then we want to make sure that your products category pages show up, and just try to make sure that you show up when people are searching for your targeted keywords. So doing keyword research, trying to find keywords that have buyer intent behind it, incorporating those keywords onto your website, and then getting Google to trust you by getting those backlinks.
Okay. And so you basically do some market research on the website, on the competitors. Once that's done, then what's the next step? What are you looking at next in the next stage of the pipeline of turning this prospective client into a client for SEO Optimizers?
Then it's going in and actually doing the work. So going in and putting those keywords in all these different places. It gets a little technical, but going into the coding, like an SEO title tag or meta description, and your images, making sure the image file names have keywords in it. Or if you have any videos or audio, like podcast, making sure those are all named with descriptive words before you upload them to your website or any platform. Making sure that you have good content on every single page, because search engines feed off text. They can't really read images and videos yet. They're getting closer, but they really rely on text. So the more text you have, the better off, the easier it is for them to read and understand and know what keywords you're targeting on that page. And all these other technical spots like header tags and schema, incorporating that onto the website. That way, Google just really has a better idea of what this page is about. That's really a big part of it, is getting Google to know what your website's about. It's called on-page SEO. And then off-page SEO would be all the stuff that doesn't touch your website. So the trust building stuff, like getting articles published on the New York Times or LA Times, or having a Facebook or a Twitter page. It's all not affecting your coding. So that'd be off-page SEO.
Do you help them? Do you help your clients with backlinks, or like a starting point for backlinks to kind of get them rolling?
Yep, take care of it for them usually, so they can focus on the business and don't have to worry about looking at their competitors' backlinks and figure out, what do I have to do? Did my competitor join a chamber of commerce, and I should probably join that chamber of commerce because they gave them a backlink? Or did they go to a trade show and sponsor an event? Then maybe we should tell the client, you should probably sponsor this event, get that backlink. Or here's a potential interview that you could do on this website. Or if you're an e-commerce website, maybe here's some influencers that have really good, strong blogs that have a lot of SEO value, that if you give them some product, they'll write about you in their blogs. And it's all about just getting creative and just figuring out, what can I do to get someone else to write about me? Because if you're just asking websites to link to you, they're never going to do it. But if you offer something of value, then they'll probably reciprocate the favor.
Yeah. Okay. And then once backlinks, how long does it take, and how many backlinks do you have? A specific strategy in terms of the amount of backlinks that are needed, or is there hey, it's websites like the local chamber of commerce, or like, hey, this is a small backlink. Hey, getting a backlink on, say, the local, or maybe a state publication, that's like a medium. Getting on the New York Times, that's a high. Like, you need X amount of high or X amount of medium, whatever, to start even showing up at anything on Google. Do you guys have anything like that with you can almost like an algorithm?
Well, that's where it comes down to your competitors, because
Yeah.
it's not really one size fits all. For every industry, it's going to be different. And even within that industry, it's going to be different. So what matters is really who ranks for those keywords on that first page of Google, and how many backlinks do they have that are quality backlinks, because we don't want to just go after the same backlinks, because some could be low quality, and Google's algorithm is based off backlinks. That's how they first started. That's how they became popular, and it's changed a lot how they look at these backlinks. So nowadays, when they look at backlinks, it's not the number of backlinks. Like if you have 100 and I had 200 backlinks, I'd rank higher than you in the past. But now it's the quality of these backlinks, and quality backlink is from a site that's related to what you're doing. The more relevant it is, the better, and the more authoritative it is, the better. But when it comes down to SEO, that's where we got to look at your competitors and see how many backlinks do they have from like what you're saying, like these high tier sites, medium sized and low ones, and then trying to emulate that into your own website. But it's not really a one size fits all. But even just getting one high quality backlink is going to get Google to trust you pretty well. Like if you get in Wikipedia or Forbes or these big sites, a couple of those are huge wins where they're just going to shoot you up the rankings. Or if you could get like .gov, .edu type websites to link out to you, because you can't buy those domain names unless you're a government or educational institute. Those help out a little bit more, but it gets tricky. Like how do you get a government or an educational website to link out to you if you're not doing government contracts, or not dealing with the government? It's going to be really, really tricky, but that's where you just do your keyword research, not keyword research, your backlink analysis, and look at your competitors' backlinks. You have to pay for tools, but you can buy tools like Ahrefs or Moz or SEMrush, and they'll show you anyone's backlinks. And then you can look at your competitors and see, all right, they're getting 5 backlinks from these government websites. What did they do? How did they get these backlinks? And then it's all about getting creative and just trying to figure out, if they got a backlink, can I get it? Or is this a good backlink? Or is this just some spammy one that they got?
Okay. No, that makes sense. And if someone's listening to this and they got a small business, or they're starting off as an entrepreneur and they want to get online presence, they want to do backlinks, what's some, just, I guess, entry level advice that can help them get started when it comes to both SEO and when it comes to Google Ads?
Well, with the backlinks, a good way is, looking at your competitors. That's going to be a great way. You have to buy these tools. They're like $100 a month, the Moz, Ahrefs, or SEMrush, because that's really going to let you spy and see what your competitors are doing. But there's only so many backlinks that you can get from your competitors, because a lot of these sites, it's not feasible to get that backlink. Either they're not managed anymore, there's no way to get in contact with them, or they wrote an article specifically about your competitor, they're not going to write about you. So you have to start building new backlinks. And one way to do that is you could blog on other people's websites. So you could go into Google and search for blogs and then put your keywords. So if you're doing like fashion, you could say like fashion blogs, and see any of these websites that are in the first couple pages of Google. They have some SEO value because they're ranking on Google. So if you could reach out to the sites and somehow build a relationship, offer them some free content, maybe an article, a video, a blog post, podcast, an interview, whatever it may be, but just trying to reach out to that site and offering value. Don't just ask for a backlink, because you got to think how many people are asking for backlinks every single day to these sites that they're just going to delete those messages. But if you could offer some value and differentiate yourself, that's going to get them to potentially maybe say yes. Probably still say no, but if you get 1 or 2 of these, if you get a couple backlinks a month, that's huge wins. Like, you don't need to be building hundreds or thousands of backlinks. Over time, you're going to build it up. Yeah, but quality over quantity, I would say.
Okay. No, that's a good idea. Is offering something of value. As you're talking about, I was like, you know what? I could probably offer them to come on my podcast and record with them, and that way they could share their blog, and it's a way for them to get more outreach. But then we can get a backlink and do an article together. Like, I can see it. I can see it. I see how it works out.
Yeah, a lot of potential with the podcasts, because I always tell people, you can just post, like if you share the podcast episode on your website, instead of just posting on like YouTube and then sharing it with everyone, post it on your own website and have a page about that podcast. And then you give it to anyone that was a guest. They're going to want to share that link. So they're going to share that link on their social media. They're potentially might blog about you, but it's going to get you traffic to your website versus just sharing it on Spotify or YouTube. You're just helping those sites get more traffic.
Would you have the podcast as individual players instead of like on like a RSS feed?
Yeah, the more pages you have, the better off for SEO too. So each page can only target about 3 to 5 keywords. So the more pages you have, the more keywords you could target. And if you have a page for each individual guest, that's going to be much better than just one page about all the guests. So that becomes their personal page that they want to share. They're going to promote that and hopefully
That's
give you some more backlinks.
man, I didn't even think about this. That's I'm trying to like wrap my head around because I just have an RSS player that's um, linked to my Buzzsprout for both Apple and Spotify, but it plays like it has all of them on there. And it plays every single one, but I never thought about using it as a backlink source that I can say, "Hey, here, go post this," and giving them the link that goes to the website, which brings them back to my website. I've just been giving them the actual podcast, the actual like, hey, here's the link on Spotify, here's a link on Apple Podcast, here's the YouTube link.
And so for SEO, yeah, it's all about trying to get creative and just figuring out ways because you're offering value. You're recording a podcast, you're putting time in, and if you share it on your website, people are going to share your website versus sharing that iTunes or Spotify or YouTube and all those other sites, which is not bad. You want to be on as many sites as possible, but ultimately, you always want to have people go to your website because you own it. You have full control. There's no ads. There's no distractions. There's no noise that's going to deter people.
I like that. Man, I'm always trying to learn something in every single podcast I'm in. So I appreciate it, Brandon. I got my nugget. I got my nugget of knowledge. So what about Google Ads? When it comes to Google Ads, what's some advice that you'd give?
Just testing, kind of throwing everything against the wall initially and try to test, pushing as much money in as possible at the beginning, because then you can start getting some data and make statistically informed decisions. So if you're spending like $10 a day, you're not going to get that much traffic. But if you're spending $100 a day, you're going to get a decent amount of traffic where you can start seeing trends and patterns of different age groups and demographics and income levels and keywords and landing page. I mean, there's a lot you could do, a lot to test. So it's all about like pushing as much money in as possible initially, and then pulling money away from what's not working and pushing money into what's working. So like,
would you do, if you're doing $100 a day, would you do 10 ads for $10, 4 ads for $25, 2 ads at $50, or 1 ad at $100?
Well, Google does like nowadays they have these like responsive ads. So you put 5 or 6 different headlines in there, and they'll kind of using their AI and the machine learning figure out which ones get the most clicks or hopefully more conversions. But yeah, I don't always trust that. So sometimes you want to manually upload some ads yourself that don't have that. But Google's really kind of pushing towards that nowadays, where they just say, hey, give us like 5 or 10 different headlines. We're going to test it out for you. And that's where you got to look at the keywords, figure out what keywords you want to target, and put negative keywords in there, which probably are the more important thing, is making sure you put keywords that you don't want to show up for. That way it stops the bleeding of money and wasted clicks. But also with Google owns a lot of platforms. So search ads, being the text ads, when you search on Google, are pretty expensive. But Google has banner ads. So anywhere where you see banners on the internet, 99% of the time it's going to be through Google ads. And those are much cheaper because people don't really click those ads, but they see you. So it kind of keeps you top of mind. And not as many people build banners because it takes time. So those are going to be a little bit cheaper. But Google also owns YouTube. And YouTube is going to be the cheapest because people don't want to create videos. It takes a lot more time and effort. And with YouTube, you get 30 seconds free ad space. So if somebody watches your YouTube video for 29 seconds and then skips it, you don't pay a penny. After 30 seconds, then it's like a couple cents per view. So it's much cheaper.
Wow. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. I didn't know that.
And even if they skip your ad, they still hear you talking for a few seconds. So they subliminally still get some messaging in there, and it just keeps you top of mind. The more touch points you have, the better. But YouTube is really one that people just don't want to record videos. They think it's a lot tougher, but with your cell phone nowadays, it's good enough where you just pick up your cell phone, record yourself, throw it up on YouTube, and it's more authentic too. Instead of making a whole commercial and making it really corporate, just make it authentic. Put a face behind the company, because people buy off people, essentially. They don't really buy off companies. Well,
so would you do landscape? Would you do horizontal? Does it matter? Would you do like kind of almost like a reel style for an ad on YouTube? What do you think would perform better?
That's where it's all about testing, because when you're on mobile on YouTube, you'll see sometimes they're vertical, sometimes they're horizontal. On desktop, it's always going to be the one way, but on mobile, the vertical one actually takes up a lot more screen space. But Not sure how people like it versus the normal standard one. So it's all about just testing, really, because you never know what's going to work. It's not one size fits all with any of this stuff. It's really see what works for your audience, because it's going to be different. Even if we're both in the same industry and promoting to the same audience, it's going to be slightly different what's working for us, me versus you. So
Yeah.
test, and then see like, all right, males 30 to 35 are clicking, but they're not calling. Let me cut them out. Females 40 to 45 are clicking and calling. Let me push more money into this. But it's all about testing and trying to get that data to make those statistically informed decisions.
I never thought about. So what if you make a 30-second ad? So then if it makes it 30 seconds, you only get charged for the 1 second? Is there a hack
No,
to
no,
this?
no. I think you automatically get billed. So if it's under 30 seconds, then they just charge you no matter what. But I tell people, make an ad that, because Google or YouTube doesn't care if it's 30 seconds or 3 minutes, they charge you the same amount. So you can make a 5-minute video ad and you're going to charge the same amount that a 30-second one would get charged.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, I like it. I like it. Um, what about social media marketing? Where do you see social media marketing going right now? This is my opinion. I feel like social media marketing. One, I'm very curious to see how this whole TikTok thing plays out, and how that's going to impact. 'Cause I know a lot of people are doing TikTok marketing or starting TikTok marketing. We'll see if it actually gets banned. I don't think it will. I think ultimately it's not going to. I think the scare of it doing. We'll see. But from my perspective, I feel like social media marketing is the landscape is changing, and I feel like it's gotten drastically more expensive for people, for the end user that's doing it. Ad spend has gone way up, and intentionality of leads coming through have gone down. And I feel like the system's going to eventually break.
No, it's definitely more play-to-play platform. Like you have to pay to get any visibility exposure. When I first started doing digital marketing and social media was free, and you got reach. Where if you have 100 people that like your post, or I mean follow you or like you, and you post, all 100 people would see your content. Nowadays on Facebook, it's like 5% of your audience will ever see what you're posting without you having to boost it, spending money advertising. So if you're not advertising, it's really tough to get organic growth anymore nowadays on social, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's all comes down to your audience. So is your audience on social media? Like for myself and a lot of service-based businesses, social's not really where you're going to get clients. People are going to go, like if you're a doctor, lawyer, dentist, you're not really going to go on Instagram or TikTok. Some people might, but most people aren't going to go looking for those services. They're going to go on Google or Yelp, find a company, and then check them out on social for like social proof to make sure that they have reviews, status updates, testimonials, they're still in business. So social for me is more just to like build up that trust. It's another touch point to let people know, all right, here's my website, here's Brandon, SEO Optimizers, but here's his social. You could ask him questions. You could see some reviews on like
Digital
Facebook.
branding.
Yeah. It's a big part of it nowadays. So it just depends how you use social media. Everyone's going to be different, but if you're selling like a brand, if you create something, it's like a brand new invention that nobody's searching on Google, then social is going to be your best place, because you got to drive that awareness. You got to build that brand up.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like if you're doing stuff on social, the only way, if you're trying to do it organic, you have to do it in a way that that you're reaching out through DMs or instant messenger to it's got to be a comprehensive plan. It can't just be putting posts, because you're unless you have fire content, and then also groups. You got to have a Facebook group that you're building, and it takes time. It's just the strategy just takes time if you're doing organic. So,
and it's called social media, which a lot of people don't realize it's social and media, not media. Everyone is good at media, posting, but not many people are social. If you start liking other people's posts, commenting, resharing, retweeting, DMing, private messaging, whatever it is, but if you're not being social, it's tough to grow. And I mean, I've grown my own accounts to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers. In the past, it was a lot easier when you need to get that social growth, where by doing that, that's how I grew my accounts. And I always tell my clients, like, gotta be social. And it works. They were able to grow their accounts to thousands of followers by engaging, liking other people's content, and just not posting all day long. Posting, but engaging after that. Don't just post and go, which a lot of people just post and then disappear. You have to
Yeah.
post and then engage and nurture that audience.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Thank you so much, Brandon, for coming on and jumping on and just sharing a lot of your experience with SEO, your knowledge, and there's a lot of value actually. So for the audience, if you got any value from this, if you learned anything, if you grew, then definitely share this content. And what's the best place if somebody wants to, obviously the website SEO Optimizers, but is there anywhere else they can connect to that they can learn more from you?
So I actually create a special gift for everyone if they go to my website at SEOoptimizers.com. That's SEOoptimizers.com/gift. They can find that there along with my contact information and a bunch of classes I've done over the years. I've thrown up there for free. So if they want to see step-by-step how to do a lot of stuff that we talked about, they can watch that there. And also if they want to book some time on my calendar for a free website analysis, happy to check out their website from an SEO point of view and see what's working, what's not working, and how to get them to the level that they want to be at. And they could book some time on my calendar there as well.
Nice. Thank you so much for the gift. Make sure you share this content with other people that they can also learn and grow and get this gift. All right. Takes you 30, 60 seconds in order to share this content, to rate, review, subscribe. But it means the world to both Brandon and I that you share this because it helps us to grow as well. This has been the Be the Difference podcast. I'm your host, Greg Birch. Until next time, we'll see you.